Hey guys, welcome back to another Shop Don't Stop video. Today we're going to be bleeding the brakes on this F30 and get it ready for Tail of the Dragon. We're going to be putting this SRF racing fluid in it. It has BMW OEM fluid in it right now, so I'm going to be showing you the process to get all that done. We're really going to just be using 11mm wrench. I do have a brake bleeder bottle and a Motive power bleeder. Those are optional, but I would recommend getting them because it makes the job a lot easier. So let's get into it. Alright, so first step is to open up this brake reservoir access. So all you have to do is turn these 3 nuts counterclockwise and then it'll unlock them. And then you just wiggle this back and forth and pulls right off. And then you have your brake reservoir down here. Alright, so once I open up the brake cap, I grab myself a pair of needle nose pliers here. And then I pulled this out. This is going to be the filter, so you want to take that out first so then you can siphon out any of the old fluid before you put new fluid in. And I'm using a pump like this, just kind of suction as much as I can out, and then you can pour new fluid in before you attach the bleeder that we're going to use. Alright, so next I'm going to attach our power bleeder. So this is really useful if you only have one person, and it keeps the pressure so you can bleed your brake lines pretty quickly. But you don't have to use this. You could do it the traditional method with the 2-person pump and release. But I'm going to show you guys how to do it with this method, and then we'll link this product below. Alright, so all you have to do is take this end, just screw it right on, make sure it's nice and tight. That way there's no leaks. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna pressurize this chamber so that we can see if it's holding pressure or not, or if we have to tighten anything up. So as we can see there, doesn't sound to be like there's any leaks. I don't hear any hissing, and this is holding pretty good at 10. So I'm gonna empty this out, release the pressure by just turning it here, and then we're gonna pour our brake fluid in and get started. So for this job, we're going to be using the Castrol React SF Racing fluid. I got this off FCP Euro, which we can link down below. And then just going to add the whole bottle here. That way, because we don't have to open this back up once we get started. Alright, so now that we got that brake fluid added, we can screw the lid back on here. Nice and hand tight here. And then our goal is to get between 10 to 15. Ideally you want to keep it near 15 and then just keep an eye on it throughout. So it should hold when we put it at 15 here, and that'll start pumping all that fluid. So I'm going to keep it around there, just about close to 15. And then every time we do one of the sides, we'll come back and take a look at it and make sure the pressure's not dropping. All right, we can go start on the right rear side now. All right, so it's kind of hard to see, but it's this right here. That's the brake bleeder. So I'm gonna put my bottle on it and bleed it without taking the wheel off because I don't have the tool right now to get it off. And it's pretty easily accessible still. It just looks a little difficult on the camera, but I'm going to do that for the rears, and then the fronts are a lot easier to get to. So I'll show you how to do that without getting the wheel off either. Alright, so I got this bottle right here. It's a brake bleeder bottle. Looks pretty good and it works nice. I've used it once before. I'll link it down below, but I got it on Amazon and it's super useful. You can also hang it up. There's a chain that they gave me, but I'm just going to be able to hold it on this ground right here. So I'm going to attach that and get started on the rear right. Alright, so I just cracked it open. We're going to get some fluid here in a second. So while this is happening, what we want to look for is that clear new fluid coming in and any air bubbles coming out. If you guys look at the bottle, it's filling up a little bit here. So this might take a while. This is the longest line that's going from the brake booster, so we're gonna give it some more time here. right, the fluid's looking a lot more clear through this line, so I don't see any air bubbles or anything. I think we got it flushed through the system. So I'm just gonna tighten this down and then move on to the next wheel. All right, guys, I just finished up the rears. Now I'm moving on to the fronts. So starting with the passenger side, super easy to get to. This is where you're gonna have to get that off. So I don't have to take the wheels off. Again, if you have to, still same place that you'd get to it, but I'm just gonna leave mine on for convenience sake. So let's get bleeding this side. And remember to keep an eye on your bottle. So mine dropped a little bit down to 12 here. I'm gonna pump it back up to 15 before we get started on that side, and then go ahead and go from there. We're on the last side here. This one shouldn't take too long, and then we'll wrap up after that. All right, so now that we're done here, we release the pressure out of this, and then we can get this packed up. So you just take this, release the pressure like that. The fluid will come back into it. So let that drain back for a second. And then we could take it off the brake fluid area. All right, now I'm gonna put the filter back in, this little piece that we took out earlier. Just hit it with some brake clean to clean it up. Then just drop it back in there. Make sure it's seated pretty good. And now we're gonna fill some fluid in there to get us back to the appropriate line. Now to put this back in, it's just the reverse of what we did. So try to line everything up here. All right, and then you just turn this to the right. And I'm gonna go get a 10mm to lock those in. Thanks for tuning in to another Shop Don't Stop video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. All the products we used will be in the description. Tune into some of our other videos, click the subscribe button and notification bell if you want to stay up to date. And remember, shop don't stop.